And it is my pleasure to welcome you tonight. Thank you for joining us during this dinner hour. It's my pleasure to guide you through our second of 3 virtual Passport to High School Success Nights. To review, the purpose of us coming together tonight is to provide you with some information about our various signature academies and programs, as well as touch briefly on our various career technical education offerings across Washoe County School District. And then we're also going to take a bit of time to walk you through some information about our specialized programs as well as our schools. And with that, I have a little bit of housekeeping items to address. So first and foremost, some technology tips. To help minimize noise and distractions, all microphones will be silenced for our families. Before we get started, I also want to walk you through some other tips to ensure everyone can easily navigate through this online platform. What everyone should be able to see is a black toolbar on the bottom of their screen. It should appear when you move your cursor. In order to ask questions, please use the Q&A feature, which is at the bottom, which can be found by pressing the Q&A icon on the black toolbar. This is where you can submit your questions and comments. Please be aware that offensive and racial comments will not be tolerated. A warning will be given if this kind of behavior is detected. And if that behavior does not change after the warning, it will result in that person being removed, unfortunately, from this event. The audio quality of this event is based on your individual internet connection. If you're worried about slow internet connection, we recommend you call in via phone. We will be having interpretation services on November 23rd during our bilingual night in Spanish. And at this point, we will proceed with our presentation. We hope that you will ask questions, express any concerns you might have. Again, we will not be allowing any discriminatory or racist comments or personal attacks. A reminder that this session is being recorded and will be posted to our website. If at any point you wish to see this presentation in its entirety, at the bottom of this PowerPoint presentation, which you should see, is a link to our school website, which is washoeschools.net/SACTI for our department, and you can download this presentation in its entirety. So just some key information we want to touch on. First of all, what is a Signature Academy? Very briefly, a Signature Academy is a specialized high school program that focuses on a career path and or area of study. Signature Academies are offered at almost every high school in Washoe County with the exception of Incline High School. And students in 8th grade can apply to attend a Signature Academy at any high school in the district based on their personal interests, whether they are zoned for that school or out of zone. Why should students consider attending a Signature Academy? Most Signature Academies provide what's called a career technical education program. These particular programs provide students with the opportunity to explore career paths, develop leadership and workforce readiness skills, connect with local businesses and organizations and make community connections, earn college credit and or job certifications as well as honors credit, and also engage in applied hands-on learning in areas such as agriculture, business, engineering, human and social services, medicine, skilled trades, and technology. In summary, Signature Academies are a fantastic way to study something that interests you while preparing you directly for life after high school. Some more information about career technical education programs in Washoe County School District. At every single one of our comprehensive high schools, we offer what are called career technical education or CTE programs. Every student in the district has access to this if they go to one of our comprehensive high schools. And for more information about the exact programs that we offer at every one of those schools, you can go to washoeschools.net/CTE programs. Every single one of these programs is usually 3 years in length, and they also provide another fantastic way for students to acquire those skills that they need to be ready for the world of college, career, and or work. Another resource for our families here that we want to encourage you to look into, called the Nevada Career Explorer. Every single student in the Washoe County School District has access to this free resource. You can go to the link here on this page. And again, it's a wonderful resource with lots of activities and modules and surveys to help your student prepare again for the world of work and or career after high school. And with that, we're going to get to our first Signature Academy and School of the Evening, Reed High School, and they're going to talk about their enterprise project. And at this point, I'm going to turn it over to Ms. Casanelli and Mr. Conley.
Good evening, everyone. My name's Ms. Casanelli, and I'm the counselor that gets to work with all of the students in the Enterprise Project at Reed. So I get to work with students from the biomedical, engineering, and human services programs. And with me, I have Mr. Conley.
Hi, everyone. My name is Tim Conley, and I am the metalworking, manufacturing, and engineering teacher at Reed High School. And I started the academy here several years ago and continue with it now.
And so, as I mentioned, our academy has 3 separate programs. We have a biomedical pathway, a civil and environmental engineering pathway, and a human services pathway. So on your screen, you should see the courses that make up those academy programs at Reed. Biomedical and human services are pretty straightforward for the biomedical students. They take the CTE program of study in biomedical, so 3 years of biomedical courses plus an additional year of medical terminology. Then our human services students take the human development program of study, 3 years of human development plus an additional advanced course. And then engineering is a little different, and I can let Mr. Conley tell you about that one.
Sure. The engineering pathway is a little bit broader in scope, as engineering is very broad in scope these days. And so to give our students the best advantage that they can get, we offer 3 different 3-year programs at the moment through automotive technology, energy technologies, and metalworking. Those 3-year programs are what are connected to our articulated credit through the college system. Students in those programs will receive or will be eligible to receive college credit at the end of those programs, depending on which program they're involved in, will depend on how many credits. We ask that every student in this program starts with manufacturing technologies that teaches them the basics of 3D programming and design. And then they can move on to one of the 3-year programs. And in the end, they take an engineering principles and design course that allows them a little more hands-on work in the engineering area.
So at Reed, we really hope that our academy students can be involved with the academy and anything else they might be interested in. So as the counselor who gets to work with these students, I really focus on helping students establish a pathway to include the academy requirements and anything else that is on their list of goals for high school and preparing for whatever it is they want to do after high school. And so while we have 3 very different academy pathways at Reed, under normal circumstances, when we have the ability to truly collaborate, we get to do some fun things that bring everyone together. And we look forward to hopefully being able to bring back Pumpkin Chunkin someday in the future. We had to miss it this year given the circumstances, but that's one of our really fun events that our engineering students focus on building trebuchets and catapults to launch pumpkins, and our other students from the human services and biomedical pathways volunteer to cover other areas of the event. So while we have very separate programs as an academy, we like to create a family within Reed, and we treat everybody as a part of that family, and we do as much collaborating as possible.
Yes, we've always tried to work interpathway between the 2. We've had classes where our engineering academy and our biomedical academy have crossed paths and worked on advanced wheelchair designs that would work in both related areas. We try to make sure that our students, they take many of the same core classes together. Some of our students are involved in band and involved in ROTC or military science. They are involved in a lot of other courses in our business department as well, computer science. And so they end up taking the same classes together a lot of the time. So it makes a very large school seem very small. We have a much smaller, tight-knit school within a school community. And that's one of our biggest proponents at our school, is that we try to get the kids to see each other cross-cultural and cross program as well.
And so moving forward, we did set up a Microsoft team for prospective students or interested students for the Enterprise Project on the district website that you'll be referred to throughout. There's a flyer with an access code that you can use to join our team, but that's a really good way for you to connect with us as you make decisions about where you're headed next year. So please join our team. You can communicate with us directly, ask questions as you have them. You'll find a lot of other helpful information there as well.
I see a couple of questions up as well, and I'd like to answer them. A question of whether we offer a video game developing course. At this point in time, we do not. We are working with computer science, and that computer science has many different aspects to it that can be involved in gaming as well. But we have not got a direct course for that at this moment. After school activities, some of the activities that we do, such as pumpkin chunkin, are after school and in-class activities as well. We ask for student participation where they can. If students do not have transportation, we rely on the buses. So if students don't have transportation to stay later after school, then they try to bring in their time at other points, maybe at lunch. But for the most part, any activity that we do, we try to open up as to whatever student involvement they can have. There is no mandatory requirement that the students must stay after school hours. It's all voluntary.
And then you have another,
I'm looking. 3D modeling and engineering program, yes. So most definitely, 3D modeling is the base of our engineering program, and that's why we ask students to take manufacturing 1 as a freshman. Any of the equipment that we use, which we have very expensive CNC equipment for mills, lathes, plasma cutters, 3D printers, laser engravers and cutters, all of those pieces of equipment base off of a 3D modeling program, and we use SolidWorks for ours. So yes, every student that comes through our engineering pathway, no matter what classes they take, they will have a 3D modeling background.
And I see a question about how the classes work. Actually, and this will cover you for a lot of the signature academies across the district. When you take the academy classes, you're getting the elective credit you need to graduate from high school. So it's a part of your actual high school schedule. At Reed, we offer 7 periods every semester to students. And so within those 7 periods, we work out their schedule to include the academy courses and the things like math, science, English that students need to graduate. In all cases, students can earn any type of diploma with our program. So if you want an honors diploma, or if you have goals to earn that new college and career readiness diplomas, we can accommodate that. And that's part of my job, is to work with students and kind of map out how they'll meet the academy requirements and the graduation requirements. But you can do it all within your regular school day. And like Mr. Conley said, if we do those after school activities, we work with students to figure out how we can make that possible for them. And if it's not something that can be done logistically or for whatever reason, that's not going to be a reason you're not able to participate. I also see a question about internships, and that's another one that district-wide, we have a lot of really good opportunities for internships. And so when you get to high school, there's opportunities to apply for internships in different types of settings, in different formats. So there are individual, group, and different types of internships offered through the district. Of course, right now we're limited given the circumstances, but when the time comes, there will definitely be internship opportunities.
Yeah, it depends greatly right now on what industries we have available. I know that the human development pathway has some intern opportunities comparative to our skilled and trade side that we're into. Most of the companies are very adamant about having 18-year-old workers or people on site. So sometimes those are limited.
And then you have another question here, just to clarify, would these classes be during normal school hours? Or are they a part of the daily schedule?
So yeah, this is like Ms. Castanelli said, this is their regular day of school. So every student that comes to high school has to have so many elective credits to graduate. And so by becoming an academy student, they're simply saying that they want to take our classes as their elective courses to graduate along with it. So we encourage them to take the highest level math and science programs, English that they can get involved in. But then every other elective that they have is funneled through our academy programs. And if they have openings and they want to get into band or into military science or orchestra, then we fill up those openings with that. But yes, everything is done during the school day, just like a normal high school schedule.
And I see a question about if there are additional costs for these classes. With most schools, when there is a class that requires certain materials to teach the curriculum, there is sometimes a lab fee associated with that class. And in these areas where, metalworking is a good example, there's a lot of materials associated with the projects that students are doing. So there are lab fees associated with the classes, but that's pretty typical for electives that use materials like that. We also at Reed, we have an academy kind of spirit fee where we do academy t-shirts, we do career and technical student organization membership using that fee. So if you do get accepted into our academy, you'll get more information about that. But again, as with everything else, if that is a reason that you would not be able to participate, we would work with you. So again, the money, we would not want to stand in the way of you being able to participate in the class or program.
Correct. I saw a couple of questions that I answered on there. This in no way conflicts with an honors diploma. As a matter of fact, it probably enhances the student's ability to gain that honors diploma. At this time, many of our level 3 courses for all of our programs are considered honors courses. So they apply to those credit requirements. And as I said before, we encourage our students to take the highest level of math, science, and English that they can. So some students are in advanced algebra, while other students are taking advanced calculus. We push them to the limit that they can handle. I also saw a question about the biomedical pathway. Our biomedical pathway is one of the most, this sounds bad, but it's one of the most general pathways in medical that is in the district. And that's not a bad thing. The good thing about that is that it gets students ready for EMT, emergency response, pharmaceutical, lab technician work. The students are able to be first aid and CPR certified by the time they leave. There's a wide area that they get trained in. And so there's a lot of different avenues that are open to them when they come out of the course. We try to open up as many doors to students and show them as many possibilities that are available to them in our pathways. And so many times students come in thinking they have one line in mind, and oftentimes they leave with a brand new area that they're interested in because they didn't know it was there before.
And I was just going to add with the topic of the honors diploma, currently for the class of 2021, so our seniors this year, 10 of our top 20 seniors are academy students. So the top 20 graduating in that class, 10 of those students are in our academy. So they've earned some of the highest GPAs in the class and will graduate with the same kind of things their peers will be. But in addition to that, they may have these certifications or college credits under their belt as well. So there's a lot of opportunity within it. As far as applying goes, there's one application for all of the academies across the school district. So when you're ready to submit an application, you'll visit the district website where you can find it. And within the application, you'll indicate which academies in the district you're interested in. And if you indicate that you're interested in the enterprise project, then you're considered for our programs. If you meet the eligibility requirements, you'll get into the applicant pool. And we have 36 openings in our biomed and human services program. And I believe our program, so 36 each, and I believe we go for 60 in our engineering. And this is how, or when you apply, you're opting for one of those spots. So as long as there's available openings and you've applied and you meet the requirements, you can get one of those spots. Where it gets tricky is when more students apply than there are spots available. And so that's something you want to consider and get your application in early and try to get one of those spots if it's something you're really interested in.
I see a couple other questions. It's been asked if these programs are offered at other high schools, Reno High School or Spanish Springs High School. Every high school has their own academy. and many times these programs are specific to our schools. The engineering pathway is not offered that I know of at Spanish Springs High School, whereas human development, and not in a pathway for academy, but some classes are available there. But for the most part, the classes that we have here at Reed are specific to our program. When we look at biomedical, Spanish Springs High School has a sports medicine area that they're working in, and some of those classes do overlap. I believe they both use medical terminology, but for the most part, they're very specific to the program that we set up. As for
with that, Mr. Conley, I'm sorry, we're going to have to move on to Reno High School. If
Okay.
you or Ms. Castanelli are able to type into the Q&A box, you can also answer them via text there as well. And
Yep.
just another reminder to our viewers tonight, if you have any questions, go ahead and add them to our Q&A box. And also, again, this presentation is available for download at our website as well. Thank you, Ms. Castanelli and Mr. Conley.
Thank you.
We are going to move on to the Reno High School Red House project at this point.
Thank you, Josh. Hello, families. My name is Tracy Ciccolone. I am the computer science teacher in the Red House project at Reno High School. Tonight, we have with us Sue Rodriguez, and she is the Red House counselor, and also Terry Salgado, the assistant principal in charge of the Red House. So they're available to answer any questions that you may have. As I go through, please feel free to use the Q&A to post any questions. Before I actually get into each of our signature programs, I did want to tell you just a little bit about Reno High School's Red House project and what you can expect as a student in our signature academy. So the Red House project opened in 2012, and each year we enroll 100 students into our academy. 75 of those students must come from within the Reno High zone, and then 25 of those students can be outside of the Reno High zone. As an incoming freshman, you're required to take 7 classes. All of the Reno High students, all of Reno High students, freshman students are required to take 4 classes: English, Math, Science, and Frosh Seminar. And then the remaining 3 classes will be filled with 1 or more of the Red House classes. And the other 2 are electives, such as language, music, engineering, sports medicine, or JROTC. As a student in the Red House project, you are part of the Reno High community, and you will enjoy the comprehensive high school experience, including a high number of advanced placement, honors courses, extracurricular and co-curricular activities like band, theater, Future Business Leaders of America, Skills USA, and also sports. So now I'd like to talk about each one of our signature programs. So as you can see on the screen, we offer animation, computer science, graphic design, and video production. One of the questions that we get most frequently is, are students in our signature academy required to purchase software, or do they have to go out and buy their own computer hardware equipment? And students are not only are they not required to purchase any software or hardware, all of that will be provided through the academy, but also no prior experience is expected either. So we do get that question a lot, so I wanted to make sure that I answered that. So let me go through the programs. First, we have animation. Animation is the study of history and creating motion and life from inanimate objects. Level 1 students learn to animate by hand, learning the basics of the 12 principles of animation. Level 2 students learn digital 2D and 3D animation. And level 3 students learn storyboarding, composition, and collaboration along with their peers. Students will use programs such as Adobe Animate for 2D digital animation and Maya or Blender for 3D modeling and animation. By the end of the animation track, students will have the ability to earn 6 college credits. Then we also have computer science. So computer science is the study of computer programming. And one of the questions that I get asked most often is, what languages will I learn? So in the first year, the computer science principles course is an AP course, and students will learn the JavaScript programming language. In second and third year, computer science, students will learn beginning and intermediate Java programming concepts. Both level 2 and level 3 computer science are honors courses. However, as a level 3 student, the computer science students have the option of taking level 3 as an AP course. So by the end of the computer science track, students will have the ability to earn 10 college credits. We also have graphic design. And in graphic design, students will learn the Adobe Creative Suite, like Photoshop, Illustrator, InDesign, and Lightroom to make 2D material for all kinds of different situations. Students learn logo design and branding for many types of industry. They will create different materials to help groups and clubs such as leadership, theater, and others on campus. It is not uncommon to see one of our designs on a t-shirt for one of the many spirit weeks, on a student water bottle, or on the wall of one of their classrooms, or even as a cover for the student planner that is given to every student on campus. In graphic design, students are also going to learn concepts of visual marketing so that they can convey convincing and clear messaging to people. Students will create a wide range of projects and explore as many avenues as possible so that they hopefully find their niche within design. Our graphic design program is also very active in the Scholastic Art Competition. To kind of give you an idea of that success, of the 200 submissions last year, 131 awards were won at the state and local or federal level. In fact, I guess 3 of the 5 Gold Key Awards were Reno High graphic design students. So graphic design is like animation and computer science. By the end of that track, students have the opportunity to earn 9 college credits. Lastly, we have video production. And video production teaches students filmmaking and broadcasting using programs like Premiere, After Effects, and TriCaster. Level 1 students learn the basics of camera operation, both digital SLRs and traditional video cameras, different types of mics, teleprompters, and live switching equipment. Level 2 students learn broadcasting, news piece creation, and interviewing skills. Level 3 students will create short films, public service announcements, and digital portfolios. And at the end of that track, those students will have the ability to earn 6 college credits. Next slide, please, Josh. So please visit our website, washoschools.net/Red House Project, or you can also use your camera app on your phone to scan the QR code and be taken directly to our website. On our website, you will find videos for each of our signature programs, also our CTE programs as well. You'll also see a staff directory if you would like to email the teachers directly to ask questions before you make your decision. One thing that I do like to remind students is that enrolling in a signature program opens doors otherwise not available. The opposite is also true. If you don't apply, then you won't have the option of changing your mind. My advice is to apply to the signature academy of your choice. Hopefully that's the Red House. And in the end, if you decide it's not the right fit for you, you can withdraw your application. We obviously hope that won't be the case. And we look forward to welcoming our new Husky pups.
Thank you, Ms. Ciccolone. And we had a couple of questions. 2 of them are kind of related. Are you able to take classes from different focus areas of Red House, either at the same time or throughout your time at Reno High School?
Yes, you are. So we've had students triple complete. So that means they've completed all 3 years in 3 separate programs. We've had students complete in 2 separate programs. It really just depends on what your schedule allows. So if you have room in your schedule to take more than 1 signature class, then absolutely. I don't know if Sue, you want to add anything to that?
And I was typing answering questions to that too, sorry. So just one of the things I want to add to that is that it really is a space availability though. Students get their first choice. And then if they list 2 classes and they want to be in 2 different tracks, then again, if there's room availability, I go ahead and put them in there. But they do obviously get their first choice first. And then some kids really do want double. Our triple completer was our pride and joy. It's really hard to do. He actually also transferred in as his sophomore year. So recognizing that you need all 3 years to complete just 1 track. So it takes a little bit of creative scheduling to do 2 and even more of that, but it absolutely is done. And we do have quite a few triple completers. So that's kind of how that works. Tracy, one of the questions was about teaching C+, and I didn't answer that because that's you. I don't know that answer. You're on mute, Trace.
That happens all the time when I'm in class too. Okay, so no, we do not teach C, any of the C languages. The languages we teach JavaScript in the year 1, and then we teach Java, beginning and intermediate Java between year 2 and year 3. So no C.
Okay. Another question was, is video production mainly focused on camera and film, or editing video and audio? Tracy, feel free to jump in on this one. Actually, it is both. We have a green screen in our Red House project room. They do all the videoing for our school. So they infuse both of those, obviously, with the editing, video, and the camera. Cinematography is what it is.
Yeah, and the information that I read tonight was from our video production teacher, but as I mentioned, if you wanted to go to our website, either by scanning the QR code or just going directly to that URL, Mr. Musney is that teacher, and they're all listed on the site. So you could ask directly if you have more specific questions.
Right. Another question was, do we have many students completing honors diploma? I'm so glad that we actually jumped in right after Reed, because much of what Ms. Casanelli has stated and Mr. Connolly, our program is very similar to theirs in that aspect. Again, every student can apply for and shoot for honors diploma, advanced diploma, CCNR diploma. We have many students that actually graduate with an honors diploma and take AP classes. I'm also AP coordinator, so they all kind of take both of those a lot together. And so we are, again, like Reed, in that we infuse our students in our Reno High culture, very much so. So they are very much a part of everything we do within the school.
So there was another question that I'd like to answer live. The question was, how hard would be taking any of these programs? Basically, how much homework, right? The $1 million question would be assigned each day. As you would expect, our programs, I mean, you have to have the equipment, you have to have the software. So for our signature programs, much of the work is done at school, because we recognize that students don't necessarily have the software and or the hardware at home. So in terms of our signature programs, most of your work is done at school. You wouldn't be expected to do anything at home that you didn't have the materials to do. As far as honors and AP courses, you know, outside of the Red House, you know, I can't really speak to that. So
yes, those are gonna, you know, typical AP class is college level curriculum. So there is quite a bit of homework that goes along with those. So similar again to Reed, I am the CTE counselor. So I work closely with those students to make sure that their path is not only manageable, but achievable for them, as well as not overloading them. One thing I do want to talk to, one of the questions was about indicating interest on the pathway. Reed had kind of mentioned that they have so many spots in each track. We basically have 100 spots across the board for those 4 tracks. And so the way that our students are identified is when we actually do registration for the upcoming school year, that is, we build our master schedule based off of students' course selections. So that's why we do ask for a second backup choice. But the majority of our students, if we have an overabundance of students wanting to go into graphic design, then we will actually create another intro section of graphic design 1 and do some creative scheduling to make sure all of our students get placed where they you know, their desire is and their interest in their pathway is. Another question is, are there college credits that are awarded with Reno High Civil Engineering program? Yes, all of our CTE classes. We have 2 other programs that are not considered signature programs. Those are 2 of our CTE programs, and they do follow the same guidelines, where it is a 3-year commitment. At the end of the year, they do take that employabilities test and the end of program test, certain GPA, and they can be eligible to earn that CTE college credit. And that is our engineering one is one of those, as well as we do have a sports medicine program too.
As you were speaking, I just went and pulled it up. It's 6 credits, 6 college credits for the civil engineering and 8 for the sports med.
And 8 for sports med, yeah. And they just added that for sports med. Yeah.
And you can find that information if you search for TMCC CTE. It should take you to TMCC's website, which shows you which of their college credits align with our CTE programs. You guys have time for one more question.
Okay, and I'll just answer this question because I know it comes up often. The question is, do we offer game development? We don't offer specifically game development. However, there is a whole component of that infused into our animation program, because so much of what they do in animation is what is required in the game development program. And so he does infuse a section in that. That is what we have available to offer.
And with that, thank you very much, Reno High School team. If your team has time, you have some other great questions in the chat. If you're able to answer it on the text, that would be great. Otherwise, we will try to answer them as best we can as we move forward. Thank you, Huskies.
All right, thank you, Josh.
We are going to push on to our Spanish Springs High School Signature Academy programs, the C3 Media and Sports Medicine Academy, and I will turn it over to them.
Good evening. My name is Amber Clonica, and I'm the Academy Coordinator and CTA Chair for Spanish Springs High School. At SSHS, we have an outstanding CTE program. Not only do we offer 13 different pathways to careers and post-secondary majors, but we have 17 dedicated and inspiring teachers who have an abundance of knowledge in their subjects. Within this, we also have our Spanish Springs Signature Academy that is comprised of our superior C3 Media and also our noteworthy Sports Medicine Academy. To answer further questions about C3 Media and Sports Medicine, I have two of our fabulous teachers, Jason Kaloniki and Kendra Marsh, with me tonight. We thank you for your interest in all that SSHS CTE has to offer.
Thank you very much, Amber. I would like the pleasure of talking to all of you about our Sports Medicine Academy at Spanish Springs High School. It is a great foundation for every student who is possibly even just thinking about a career in medicine. The difference with our program is that we are generally a medical program that will get students ready for various medical careers. We do it through the medium of sports medicine. We are also the largest high school sports medicine program in the entire state of Nevada. When we used to do this in person, and I think we can all agree that we would rather do this in person. As you can see, the email address is down below. Please, after tonight, next week, whatever, if you have any questions, please email me. I will be more than happy to just give you a call and just talk to you in person. One of the biggest things that separates our Sports Medicine Academy from the others, and I know this sounds really corny, is that we truly believe that we are a family. We try to help each other out however we can. We support each other. Both myself and Mrs. Kalanico are the two Sports Medicine Academy teachers. Our program is a 3-year program with an optional year for a 4th. The freshmen will take health science, which is taught by Mrs. Kalanico, and all of our classes are a full year. A sophomore and junior year, the students will be with me for Sports Medicine 1 and Sports Medicine 2. And then if students choose that they really want to go into something medical, senior year, they go on to medical terminology back with Mrs. Kalanico again. After completing all 4 years successfully, passing the state workplace readiness test and the state sports medicine test after their junior year, our students can earn 11 college credits going through our Sports Medicine Academy. One of the biggest celebrations that we really talk about with our students is that it's fun. God forbid that something in school is fun. 75% of what we do in our curriculum is hands-on. It's not just a teacher talking in front of a class, them taking notes the whole entire time. It is actually them getting their hands dirty. They are practicing what they need to. And then one thing also with our program is they get to actually work on our athletes. So one, they're learning it from me and Mrs. Kalanico. Then they're going to go and practice these sport-specific skills on each other. And then they're going to go on and use them on the athletes. And one of the reasons why we focus on that is because we actually have the highest passing rate in the entire state of Nevada for the state sports medicine test. That's something that we're really proud of. It is consistent for the last 7 years. And the reason why is because we are so hands-on. I think we can, most of us are visual learners. And so that also helps retain or help the students retain that info. It's one thing to study for a test and then all of a sudden, okay, you memorize it. and then you forget it. That's not what we're all about in our academy. You are choosing to be in our academy. We want you to remember the stuff that you are going to learn and actually use in a later career. Our academy in sports medicine is actually in high demand. If you are interested, I highly encourage you to apply in the first round, which has already opened. We accept 100 students every single year, and we always have a waiting list over that. Okay, so even though we're kind of way out in Spanish Springs, you know, transportation is basically on your own with your family, but still, we do have a high demand for our sports medicine academy. So I again encourage you to apply often. One of the parts of being hands-on is that the students actually learn over 300 orthopedic evaluations. It's the exact same test that the doctors do. And one of the things that I enjoy is when students start evaluating their parents or start evaluating a family member, and then they come in the next day and they're so excited. They're like, guess what? I was able to figure out what was wrong with my parents, and they didn't believe me. So they went to the doctor and it was exactly what I said. So it's nice to see that encouragement and that fire inside of them learning something that they can actually use. Now that we have been in academy for 8 years, we are starting to see our alumni from sports medicine become nurses, and they're starting to go into physical therapy, and they're going into dentistry. And now it's awesome to have them come back and talk to our students specifically to say, hey, I sat exactly where you sat, and now look at me. So it's always possible. I think one of the reasons why we're so large is because, one, it's hands-on and it's fun. We have students that think that they want to go into the medical field, and that's great. We also have students that, well, I'm not really sure. So they just kind of do it because they've heard that it's fun and it's hands-on and they really enjoy it. We also have students that apply that, you know what, I have no idea what to expect. I don't know what I want to do, but all of my friends are doing it, so I'm going to do it too. And then that's perfectly fine. As a parent, I have 2 students at Spanish Springs High School. Both of them are in multiple CTE programs that actually Mrs. Klonico will go over after we're done talking about the academies. My daughter is actually in our teacher and training program and the sports medicine academy. We also offer Jumpstart college classes at our school. When all is said and done, my daughter is a senior now. She'll be graduating with 25 college credits, and she hasn't taken 1 AP class. So that says a lot about what not only our academies, our CTE program, but what our school has to offer your children. The last thing I want to talk about is the experiences and the business industry partners that we do have. We work very well and hand in hand with the UNR School of Medicine and also the School of Nursing at TMCC. During senior year, our students actually go to the cadaver lab, and they work with the medical students, and they get to witness and observe and touch and feel, and that is just priceless. And then also with the nursing program as well at TMCC, we also have community partners in physical therapy and dentistry and veterinary science. And so even though we're large, we are very successful. Both myself and Mrs. Klonico are CPR instructors, so we will actually certify all of our students ourselves at school as part of the curriculum. They will get certified as a healthcare provider in the American Heart for CPR and first aid as a freshman, and then again as a junior. And then we usually additional class right before they graduate. So then their 2-year certification will go on into their college experience. One of the last things I'll talk about is our retention rate. Which basically means how many students stay in the program from year after year after year. And we have one of the highest retention rates because, again, the students enjoy it. It's fun, it's hands-on, and it's always nice to be able to help a loved one or a stranger or a family member or a teammate. And that's what our Sports Medicine Academy is all about, is about helping others. So please ask questions, get our email down. If you have any questions after this, we'll be more than happy to email you, talk to you, whatever you need. I would like to turn it over now to Kendra Marsh, and she's going to talk about our great C3 media program.
Thank you, Jason. Hi, I'm Kendra Marsh, and I'm the lead for our C3 Media Academy. This is the place for students who are interested in video production, photography, cybersecurity, and animation. Our video production class has a full TV studio, the most advanced custom video switcher in Northern Nevada, HD cameras. Our photography studio or class has a full lighting photography studio and DSLR cameras to offer our students. The graphic design, animation, and our cyber security and computer science have completely stocked computer labs. We have industry standard software that we can offer, and we really pride ourselves on all the equipment that we have in our classes. Most of the parents, when we're not doing this virtually, when we can actually show the classrooms and have tours at our school, our parents are really excited and they're like, wow, I wish I had all of this stuff when I was in school. So that's one of the most exciting parts, is to offer all of the equipment. Our curriculum is very rigorous. We have high expectation. We try to have very innovative technology and hands-on learning in all of the classes. We push critical thinking and also how to be very creative. We also pride ourselves in teaching all of the professional side. Our students will live with video portfolios as well as website portfolios. Throughout our entire class, we include our employability skills for our students, so they're very ready to go into the career field. And part of that curriculum is to have our students participate in CTSOs. We have Skills USA, FBLA, and HOSA, where all of our students are challenged to participate in real world skill related competitions. And we're also able to put our students in leadership roles where they can gain all of those leadership skills as well. So I'm very proud of our C3 Media program, and like Jason said, please email us with any questions. We can definitely answer and talk to you about all of the different activities and extracurricular stuff that we have at Spanish Springs High School. I really hope to see some of your students at C3 Media.
Thank you, Cougar team. And as your time runs down, we do have a couple questions if we have time. Someone asked, regarding the C3 Media Academy, can you focus on one area, for example, animation, or do you have to take all of the areas?
We have 3 levels to every single one of our C3 Media or any CTE class, where our students are able to take the first class and decide they really enjoy it and move on, so that they can get a Nevada certificate of attainment. And that's what we recommend, is actually to take 3. But we do have students who are able to take more than one pathway, as long as they are creative with their scheduling, and they can work with the counselors and us with that.
Thank you. Do you currently offer game development?
No, we do not have game development, but we do have a gaming club, and we do have that as part of the curriculum in our animation class.
Thank you. And then someone else asked, is your computer science program a part of the academy, or is it available to students not zoned for Spanish Springs High School?
Our computer science and our cybersecurity is part of the academy, but students can also participate in those classes if they are not part of the academy. So I would say the answer is both.
And then one last question. My son is really interested in computer science and cybersecurity courses. Is that in the same pathway?
Yes, no, yes. Amber?
Can
The
you
answer-
repeat that one more time for me, please?
I'll just go ahead and answer it for you. So someone asked if computer science and cybersecurity courses were in the same pathway, and the answer would be no, those are two different pathways.
Thank you.
But they can still do both of those pathways if they wanted to.
Excellent point. So with that, we had a few other great questions. We would encourage you to reach out to the staff here. You've been seeing their email addresses along the bottom scroll if you have any more follow-up questions. Otherwise, if the Spanish Springs team is available, you can also answer these questions in the Q&A box. And we want to thank the Spanish Springs team for your time. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And with that, we will move on to our next program. We are going to move on to Mr. Rookie, who will be speaking on behalf of the Tech Science and Manufacturing Academy at Sparks High School.
Good evening. My name is Kevin Rookie, and I am the construction technology teacher for the CTE program at Sparks High School. Our program is currently kind of transitioning from what used to be the furniture and manufacturing. We've moved away from that into building trades. We have a 3 or 4 level program that's developed, starting off with construction level 1, where kids learn to identify lab organization, and we're heavy on safety procedures of both in the lab, on the job site, and then in the operation of hand and power tools. Then we get them into performing some actual construction skills, reading plans, doing some basic math, learning some of the terminology and vocabulary for the trades. And that's in all 4 levels that we have. We kind of go over that each year. First year, we start off with doing some simple framing. We build a pretty good sized insulated doghouse. This last year, our program started in, we're building 2 8x12 storage sheds to give them a size of a little bit more dimension. And then in level 3, 4, we're going to be starting building a mini house on wheels. In that, they will learn electrical, HVAC, plumbing, the carpentry skills. And again, we also kind of focus on employability skills. That's for our career readiness. We've partnered with a lot of the local unions in the area to find out and identify what things they are looking for in their apprenticeship programs. And we spell those out, and we have our kids, one of the biggest things is show up to work every day. And in this case, it's show up to school every day, be on time, be ready to go to work, making sure that you have everything that you need to start work. So we kind of treat it as a really more hands-on. We spend as much time downstairs in the lab as we do upstairs learning about the safety, OSHA requirements, county requirements, building codes. But we're trying to get them prepared so that when they graduate, and if they take this program for 3 years and get out with a B average, they can have a certificate that gets them into a apprenticeship program. And a couple of the apprenticeship programs representatives that we've talked to have told us that if students have that certificate and that seal on their diploma, in many cases, they can bypass the 2 to 3 month waiting period of getting into the apprenticeship program. They can pretty much kind of walk in if they have those skills. So we concentrate on measuring skills, working with both metric and customary measuring systems. Again, we are kind of transitioning, so we're getting into a lot more power operated tools so that they have an idea of what it's going to be like to go to work and handle those tools all day. We only have them this year, especially with the alternate learning process that we have. I only have most of the students out of a 2-week period, 5 hours a week. So it's really imperative that we focus as much of that time downstairs working on a project-based program that we have and trying to get them, again, adapted in the field. we've had a pretty good turnaround from students moving from one year to the next. This is my third year, and I have a class of 10 level 3 students that started off when I was in, they were level 1 students. And several of them are going to be graduating with that certificate and are looking forward to being able to find a pretty good paying job when they get out and get into an apprenticeship program. We aren't really, I'm going to say, pushing unionization, but unions offer good apprenticeship programs with well-paid jobs. When we went to the career fair 2 years ago, and you have some of these kids talk to the representatives there, and they find out that a journeyman in some of these trades is making between $40 and $50 an hour. That's kind of mind-boggling to them. They don't see themselves being there. So we're trying to open up that opportunity to them by, again, giving them a pretty structured program of making sure that we touch all of the aspects of the building trades industry. We aren't focusing on one single one. We're trying to give them, I'm going to say, a little bit of a taste of each building trade. Again, plumbing, electrical, pipe fitters, carpentry. We aren't going to just focus on carpentry. We try to focus on as many of them as we can. Again, within building a mini house, you've got to have all of those trades and somewhat of those skills. So if they are familiar with those, when they graduate from high school, hopefully they'll be able to go into whatever trade they choose. And we have been working this year, Josh and his crew over at the CTE office have been setting up some pretty good on-site via Zoom guest speakers to come in from the various unions and give us some pretty good information for these kids to digest as just what it's going to take for them to get out and, again, get into a pretty well-paying job that they can have a good life on.
With that, Mr. Ruki, I want to jump into a few questions while we still have time.
Okay.
If you could, so you've been talking about the construction program. Can you walk our viewers through some more information about the facilities that you have at Sparks High School, especially for both manufacturing and construction in particular?
Sure. The construction trades, again, was used to be the wood shop. So we have a lot of those tools that we are phasing out because we don't do a lot of cabinetry work anymore. And the old auto shop is now been made into the manufacturing technologies lab. And there they are doing 3D printing. They are doing computer programming for CNC machines. They also are doing metal work, some welding, but it's really predicated on design. But then they also have a manufacturing lab that they can set up actual prototypes of what it looks like to go to work at the Tesla or at Panasonic or at Google, where they are working with the actual machines that those companies use in their manufacturing process. All of these programs you can develop or you can gain college credits. In the construction technology, we get 9 credits up to 24 if they do all 4 years. And again, they sign on to the TMCC program, they can transfer there. The computer science program is focused mainly on programming, and they do project-based. Again, this year, all 3 of these programs have been challenged to the max with the distance learning, trying to get, in my case, I try to do all of the safety tests for OSHA policies, regulations, tool identification, try to do that as much online as we can. So while they're at home on their virtual day, they can get that information. And then when they get into class, I don't have to go over it in depth again, and we can move on and get downstairs and start building things. But all 3 programs do offer college credits at the end of their program if they choose to go into another field within any of these 3 programs. In my case, construction technology, if they find that they might want to go into project management or construction management or architecture. It's always nice to know how to put it together before you design it. And that way you kind of have a better understanding of what it takes to actually build that house.
Are there any particular projects or units in any of your programs that stand out to you as especially noteworthy, or that you'd like our viewers to hear about tonight?
Well, the first year when they actually completed, we actually completed 2 dog houses and we sold them. I don't think that they realized that we could sell a product that we built. This year, we already have, again, customers for the 2 storage buildings that we have. And it's always gratifying to the students, but to me as well, when they have that aha moment, when we, in this case, on our storage walls, our storage units, they put the walls up and they actually fit the way they're supposed to. And they kind of walk away is that we built this. And for them to have that satisfaction that they've been working toward getting this project done, that's why the project-based learning is really a critical element of all 3 of these programs. Being able to see that you have accomplished something that is marketable.
Thank you. Can you describe if there's any particular type of student or interest or skill set that a student has that is that proves successful in any of these types of programs? Is there a typical student, or do students who succeed in these programs, are they from any and all types of backgrounds?
I've been very pleasantly surprised that they're pretty much any and all backgrounds. One of the things that I'm finding is that I'm trying to stress to these students that no matter whether they decide to actually go into a construction trade, they are going to be learning a lifelong skill that they can take home with them, so that if they want to do a project, that they know how to safely use a tool or know what tools to use for what projects. So giving them that kind of a skill base that they can take with them no matter where they go. If they choose to go more toward, again, academics in the construction trades, like I said, project management, construction management, inspection, those are all other opportunities that they can take. But knowing that it all comes down to, you are always going to have people to put the nail into the board and hook and put the boards together to build the structure.
Thank you. Can you talk about, is there any particular pieces of equipment that you think are particularly interesting for students, especially starting out in any of these programs?
Well, to a lot of the students, it's enlightening when you give them a portable circular saw and they say, oh gosh, this is pretty heavy. But we have been able to, through the grants that we have been able to get throughout the last 2 years, really get some really good quality construction equipment. And again, the portable hand saws, the drills. We just got ourselves a new chop saw or a miter saw that the kids have really been anxious to use. And when they use it and they actually make the cut that they want to make and it fits together with the other pieces, again, it's just very gratifying to them to see that they have actually learned a skill that they can put to use.
And then I think we have time for one last question here. Someone asked, can you do construction and manufacturing? Is it possible to take both those programs at Sparks?
Yes, several of the students in my class are taking the manufacturing leg as well. They go from one to the other, and they can actually finish dual. It again takes some doing, and it's not for every student. The students that I have found that are doing that are really somewhat undecided as to which way they want to go. So they are looking at taking the manufacturing and the construction technology to help them make that determination.
Thank you very much, Mr. Rookie. We appreciate your time. Thank you for representing the Railroader community tonight. We are going to move on. Have a good evening.
Have a good night.
And with that, we are going to move on to Wooster High School and their International Baccalaureate Academy.
All right. Good evening, everyone. I am Dustin Coley. I am the IB Career-Related Program Coordinator at Wooster, and I am joined by Jennifer Lee now, who is the IB Diploma Program Coordinator at Wooster, and we represent the International Baccalaureate programs at Earl Wooster High School. At any time, there's a QR code to check us out at woostercolts.com, so you can scan that at the beginning of the presentation if you want to kind of preload your questions, but we also have it on the last page of our presentation as well. You can go ahead. Go ahead, Josh. So what is IB? So when we focus on IB, we really want to focus on educating the whole student. So we have holistic programs of study where we really emphasize students' critical thinking skills, problem solving, time management, and we work on their writing and research skills a lot. This program is recognized both domestically and internationally as a rigorous pre-university program. And all of our students are successful, who complete successful IB exams are often entitled to university credit, advanced placement in colleges and universities, as well as a slew of scholarships. So our first program, the Wooster Diploma Program, is what we're most known for. And so that is the one that is going to be a rigorous college prep program in which we challenge students in 6 areas of study. Those 6 programs of study are listed above. So we have Language A, which is language and literature, and we offer that both in English and Spanish for our native Spanish speaker population. We offer world languages in French, Chinese, and Spanish, and those are both the Language A and the Language B are 2-year courses that they start in their junior year and continue on to their senior year. Our sciences that we offer are biology, chemistry, physics, and design technology. Those are 1-year science options, but the students have the ability to choose a 2nd-year study to go deeper into the field of science that they choose. We have individuals and societies, which is our social studies courses, and we focus on history of the Americas, which is required for all of our IB diploma program students. And they have the option of taking a 1-year course in psychology, or they can choose to do 2 years in psychology as well, if that interests them. Our mathematics, we have 2 different mathematics programs. Our analysis and approaches is one of the highest level math classes that you can take in the district. It's the same as Calc 2, which is like 3rd-year calculus in college. We also have application and analysis and approaches is 2 years. Applications and interpretations is 1-year program. And then we also have the IB Arts. We also believe that arts is just as important as the rest of our academic courses. So we offer arts in theater, visual arts, and music. All of our IB diploma program courses, oh, can you go back real fast? Yeah, thanks, sorry. I know there's a lot on that slide. All of our IB diploma program courses are anchored by our IB core. And so if you look at that graphic in the middle, our IB core is what really sets us apart. We focus on educating the whole student by challenging them to undergo a 2-year research project, a topic of their choice. We want them to participate in creativity, activity, and service, which means we're developing students outside of their academic fields, because although we love our academics, we also want our students to get out there and experiment all the different things that they really want to do. And theory of knowledge is ways that we tie all of our 6 subjects together. So students take that class specifically, and we access the ways of knowing and how we know what we know and make those connections to deepen their educational setting. Go ahead. Our newest program is the Wooster CP program. So we've had that for about 7 years. And the Wooster Career-Related Program leverages our amazing career and technical education courses that are listed here. We have energy technologies, military science, metalworking, cybersecurity, multimedia communications, and landscape design and management. The CP program is also anchored by an IB core in which they, again, undergo a 2-year research project that is a culmination of their career-related studies. They go through a language development program, as well as participate in service learning and a personal and professional skills course. All of these are going to be great options for our students. And again, both the DP and CP programs are offered at the junior and senior levels. Oh, and the CP also, we're like, I have like my my planner. So the CP course also is going to be taking 2 of the following diploma program courses that you saw on the previous slide. So they challenge themselves and choose those courses to embed within the career-related studies program. Now you can go ahead. We are not only a signature academy, but we are a signature school because all of our 9th and 10th grade students at Wooster, regardless of what program they want to choose to do in their junior and senior year, are part of our IB Middle Years program. The IB Middle Years program is going to prepare students to think critically and really give them those skills to be successful in either our DP or CP program. And they study issues and ideas that are both local and national and global in nature. And there's a bunch of different, it's definitely a different philosophy and way of thinking for our MYP students. And so we find that as we've added the MYP program, that the CP and DP students have only strengthened their studies further. And of course, there's that QR code as well for you guys to visit us at woostercolts.com. And Miss Lena and I will join for some questions if you have any.
So yes, you did have a question here. You touched on it briefly, but can you restate, does Wooster have software engineering or any other similar types of courses?
Yeah, so we offer actually a cybersecurity program. So cybersecurity is a 3-year CTE program, and I believe you guys heard about it earlier in the presentation from other schools. So we have that as well. And we also offer AP computer science for students who really want to be successful in coding.
And then in terms of a tangential question, do you have sports, and is it competitive to the point that students can be cut from sports after tryouts?
Yeah, Jen can go.
So we do actually really want all of our students to participate in athletics and clubs and activities. Some of our teams are competitive, others do it more for the love of the sport. We do have some teams that you need to try out for the team and then be told if you make it or if you're cut. And others of our sports are pretty much everybody makes the team. And then it depends on later on if you play or not. For example, most of our IB students are very much into tennis, skiing, volleyball, soccer, golf, baseball. And I know volleyball typically needs to cut students, but anybody who wants to play on tennis, golf, and ski are allowed to, and then it's determined later on when you play.
Thank you. Is transportation available to Wooster's Signature Academy?
Yes, actually, because we're considered a signature school, IB at Wooster and AACT are the 2 programs that, because we came into fruition back in the 90s, we have always been able to offer transportation from a student's zoned high school. So if a student is typically zoned Galena, then there is a bus that picks up at Galena and will bring that student to Wooster in the morning and then take them back in the afternoon.
Very important to know. Another question, is there any form of debate club or debate team at Wooster?
Absolutely, and it's considered top-notch in the district as well. Our IB students are excellent debaters.
Thank you. Can you describe a little bit more about the multimedia communications program you are looking to implement?
Sure.
And if not, I can.
Okay. Well, Josh, I'll let you jump in if you want to. But we have our photography program, which is now being transformed, and we're very excited, into multimedia communications. So not only focusing on the different levels of photography, but going into video, websites. I think, Josh, what else do you think that we're going to be seeing in this?
So good question. So I'll jump in here because this is a rather new program from the Nevada Department of Education. So as Mr. Coley was saying, this is going to cover a much broader range of media than just photo. It's going to incorporate elements of principles of design and composition, graphic design, audio, video elements, establishing a web presence, legal and ethical issues in project development, as well as proper use of production tools and techniques, marketing concepts. There's a social media component, the critical elements of professional communication, as well as general content creation, and even some business skills. So I read that directly from the course standards, and it should be a very broad range of skills that students are going to have the ability to acquire. So we're pretty excited about that. We had another question here. In the DP program, is art a requirement? Is it possible to study more than one science? And can the student do both math programs?
Those are absolutely excellent questions, Josh. Do you mind going back to the DP slide?
Yes.
And I will speak about those. So all DP students, they have to take and test in 6 groups. And so those 6 groups are laid out here. And on our Wooster website, there's a specific section for IB that explains it much more in detail. But a student has to take English, a world language, history, a science, 1 math, and either one of the 3 arts classes, or a second science, or psychology. So that last one, there's the elective area has wiggle room in it, but students cannot take both math classes. They have to choose. They can take, we have had students who, in place of extra electives, have taken 2 or 3 sciences. So there's the minimum, and then there are other options beyond that.
And then you had another question. Is it possible? Oh, I don't know if you covered it. Is it possible to study more than one science? I'm sorry, I didn't catch that.
Yes, they can study more than one.
And then can the student do both math programs?
No, just the one. They have to make a decision between analysis and approaches, and applications and interpretations. Analysis and approaches is a very high level, rigorous math. Typically those kids that are very much, so one of the differences, students and parents ask, what's the difference between IB and AP? And essentially, first of all, IB is a full program where students are exposed to high-level academics in all 6 subjects. So it's very rigorous, very challenging. But within those subjects, they can pick whether to do, in some cases, the higher, even more rigorous, or the regular rigorous, for lack of a better word. So analysis and approaches is a 2-year, very high rigorous math program. Applications and interpretations is a 1-year, still rigorous, but not as rigorous as the other. So we tailor fit their program to what they're strong at, because we expect them to be in all of these classes. Unlike AP, where students can choose, oh, I'm strong in writing, so I'll do English, or I'm strong in the sciences, so I'll do a science and a math. We want to build the whole student and expose them to all the information in all the subjects.
Thank you. And with that, I think we'll round it out with Leah, who asks, how would having an IB diploma or graduating from your IB program benefit a student internationally, presumably if they were going into business or some other related field on the international stage?
So one of the great things is that the international diploma is recognized internationally. So a student, and we've had several who want to study abroad, that international diploma is their entrance into the international university. But it's accepted by universities in the United States as well. Many of them, as was mentioned before, offer credits for classes just like AP does, and scholarships and placement maybe as a sophomore or a junior status at the university. The best part about it is the student is not restricted to learning and becoming strong in just one area. So the CTE strands are fantastic and great for kids who know exactly what they want to do. And the IB diploma program is for those who are still exploring all those possible options out there and becoming strong in all areas.
Thank you. And with that, we will close our time for Wooster. You still have several really great questions in the Q&A box. If you're able to answer those via the type, that would be great. Otherwise, we would encourage our families to, again, go to that QR code or go to their website or our website for follow-up questions and information.
And Josh, one quick thing, we will be posting a link on the QR code site for a Zoom that we will host on December 3rd for our incoming eighth graders. Or
Excellent.
For anyone who would like more information, more discussion will be available.
Excellent. Thank you, Wooster team, and have a wonderful evening. Go Colts. And with that, we will transition to information from the team at TMCC High School, who will tell us more information about their program.
Awesome. Thank you, Josh. Good evening, everyone. I am David Kitchen, the principal at TMCC High School, and we also have Katie Swanson, our counselor, with us this evening. So we will be going over just big picture, some of the unique features of our school, and hopefully being able to answer your questions as well. So TMCC High School is a middle college high school offered in partnership with Truckee Meadows Community College. And what that means is that students at our school are actually dually enrolled as both high school students and college students at the same time. So our students are taking, each semester, they're taking certain courses with us in our high school, and then they're taking other courses actually in college classes with other college students taught by college professors. So our school is embedded within the TMCC Dandini campus, although some of our upperclassmen do take specialty courses at other TMCC campuses. So you can see displayed some of the advantages of our school. These are some of the highlights. You know, one of the big ones that students are attracted to is a chance to actually start out of college, earning free college credits. And we also have a counselor, Katie, who is very knowledgeable with obviously our high school program and the different college programs as well. She meets with students each year to check in with their academic progress and to help them plan what courses they will be taking as they're working towards either a 2-year associate's degree or another certificate program through the college. We have the unique opportunity to give students an opportunity to start college while still having the support system that high school offers. We have small class sizes, we have flexible schedules. Our students are usually taking their high school classes 3 days a week, and then they, you know, depending on when they have their college classes scheduled, they have some flexibility with when they are taking their high school classes as well. And then our students, since they are fully enrolled college students, do have access to all of the college campus resources, including labs, learning centers, the library, tutoring center, counseling services, amongst others. So we do have some minimum qualifications for applying. We are an application school. So on our website, at the end of this semester, we'll have our application posted. And it is competitive to get in, especially in 10th grade. We have students entering our program as 10th graders, and then we have another group of students every year that enters our program as 11th graders. And Josh, you can move forward. One of the questions that we get a lot is what type of student should go to TMCC High School? And there's really not an easy answer to that question. So we have what we would consider the two kind of extremes of typical students. These would be 12th grade schedules. So student A is a student who is really almost a full-time college student, taking one high school course so that we can stay connected with that student, so that we can, help monitor the progress in the college courses, offer supports if they're needed. We do have a group of students every year that kind of falls into this student A category. And then we have a lot of students who are kind of at the other end of the spectrum in the student B category, which would be more of a 50-50 mix of high school and college courses. So this would be a student who is taking a math support class with us, possibly to get support for their college math class. They also could be taking a yearbook or student leadership as a high school course, and then they will be taking 2 or 3 college courses as well. So student B is a student who is not full-time in college. They're kind of getting their foot in the door, but with a more robust support system from the high school. We do have students in a wide variety of programs through the community college. So Katie, why don't you mention some of the more popular programs that our students are working to complete?
So more than half of our students are working on Associates of Science or Associates of Arts for transfer to UNR or other universities out of state. And many of the majors that they're headed for once they leave us would be things like engineering, criminal justice, biology, the biological sciences leading toward medicine, or the veterinary sciences. Some of our students will head off to work on computer sciences or the physics. Then there is a smaller group of students who will work on their associates, and they'll stay at the community college and work on the 2-year programs that TMCC has to offer in things like radiology, nursing, dental hygiene, the automotive technology programs. If the students are working on those, they usually have about 2 semesters left when they leave us to complete one of the certificate programs. And students who are working on their Associates of Science or Arts for transfer generally cut off 1 to 2 years of their 4-year program when they head off to UNR or out of state.
Awesome, thank you. So the last thing that we want to highlight is that we have several opportunities, more than we've had in the past, because of the unique nature of this school year, for you guys to connect with us and ask more detailed questions. We, at our information nights, go into a lot more detail into our application process, typical course of study for 10th graders, 11th graders, and then do more individualized questions and answers. So TMCC High School website, if you Google search TMCC High School or you find us through the school district webpage, you will see a registration for our information nights. And those are very similar to this. They're hosted through Zoom. They're all the same. You would just need to come to one. And we do have a couple coming up in December and then a couple more at the beginning of next semester. So I tend to talk quickly. I'm sure there's some questions, Josh. I haven't been looking at the box.
Yes, there are several. So I'll start with Brody, who asks, does TMCC have prom or any high school dances?
We do have prom. That is our one dance specifically for our school. We have a lot of students who will get guest passes to go attend dances either at their zone school or with a friend. The one that we host every year is prom.
Very good. Tiffany asks, how do you get into TMCC High School? I know you're going to cover that process more in depth, but is there, for instance, is there any kind of an interview process, or is it mainly based on that application piece?
Yeah, so we accept, our target is to accept 50 incoming 10th graders and 50 incoming 11th graders every year. It's been in the recent past that we've actually started accepting 10th graders. So I should have mentioned earlier, one of the things that is important is if you're hoping to come to our school, it is important to get some of those PE and computer science and application, those classes specifically done 9th grade year, because those are a lot more difficult to get at our school. So you would apply to come either in 9th grade or 10th grade, planning to come to our school your 10th grade year or your 11th grade year. And the application process is pretty similar to, most of the Signature Academy programs. We do have an interview process for our incoming 10th graders. It tends to be a lot more competitive coming in as 10th graders. And that would be part of the application process. Taking the AccuPlacer, I think it was a couple slides ago, is also part of our application process. That is the entrance exam for TMCC to make sure students are prepared for their entry-level math and English classes. So that is another part of the application process. Katie, am I forgetting anything?
No, that covers all of the different pieces. You don't actually take the AccuPlacer until you've been given the first step of the application, getting it in, and we process it, and then we give you the green light to go ahead and take the AccuPlacer and apply to the community college.
Someone asked, does TMCC offer studies in biology, like if I wanted to become a veterinarian in the future?
And the answer to that is absolutely. There's two different directions a student who wants to go into the veterinary sciences would take. One of them, the community college offers a 2-year program in veterinary nursing, which gives a student the certificate to go and be a veterinary nurse at a clinic. And the other direction would be taking the biology classes and heading off to UNR to take the pre-vet program. And then they would apply to veterinary colleges after they've gotten their 4-year bachelor's.
Thank you. Claudie asked, can students enter TMCC as a 9th grader, which you already covered? Is it possible to come in as a 12th grader, or is it only for incoming 10th and 11th graders?
So yes, it is for incoming 10th and 11th graders. So we at any given time, our target is to have about 250 students in our school. And there's some of that capacity is based on classroom availability in the college, but we don't have spots open for students coming in 12th grade. So like I said, it's a lot more competitive coming in 10th grade. It still is competitive coming in as 11th grade, but not quite as competitive. But those are the 2 grades where we are accepting students into the high school program.
Thank you. Are there any medical related classes that you offer through TMCC High School?
Yeah, not specifically in the high school, but through the college. Katie, you would know more about that than me.
Yeah, so the high school itself is only teaching history and English and math, but through the college, students can take classes leading toward applying to the nursing program at TMCC or at UNR, or they can be taking their biology and chemistry classes leading toward applying to medical schools and taking their pre-med programs through. You wouldn't achieve all of that while you're with us. You would have the foundation biology and chemistry that would then cut off the years needed to apply to medical school once you get to UNR.
And on that note, is it possible to graduate early at all from TMCC High School as, say, a junior?
Well, you wouldn't want to.
So it is. It does not happen very often in our experience. And the reason for that is because our students are typically working towards a specific either associate's degree or some other certificate program. So most of our students, graduating from high school is not the only reason they're at our school. So we have had some students graduate early. It's not very common. You wouldn't be finishing your college program if you were graduating early.
I think we have time for a couple more. You did touch on this in terms of the typical type, the 2 different types of students, but in terms of the goals of students who would apply to and complete their education at TMCC High School, would you summarize their goals in any kind of particular essence?
Right. So I think the one that is more commonly thought of is the student who really wants to challenge themselves, get a head start in college, start earning college credits in high school, and then be ahead when they go on to a university. I think the statistic I just saw this week, Katie, was that 70% of our graduates are going on to a 4-year university after they leave us.
It's, yeah, 70 plus.
70+%. So that is one goal. The other goal, which is not as commonly considered, but we actually do have quite a few students who maybe are not sure if they actually want to go to college. And so they come to us because they want to get a taste of what college is like and kind of get their foot in the door, but it's not a, it's a foot in the door while they're still having the support system of high school. So we really do, we can challenge students who really want to push themselves. We also have, a really robust support system as far as an intervention program, a mass support program, one-on-one counseling as far as academic counseling each year. So the student who, is not 100% sure that college is their jam, but they want to try it, that's also a student who can sometimes come to our school and have a lot of success.
Thank you. And with that, we will turn it over to our next school. Just so you know, you do have a couple more questions in our Q&A box. If you're able to answer it on there via type, that would be great. Otherwise, thank you for your time tonight. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
And with that, we will turn it over to our last special program of the evening, the Academy for Career Education, also known as ACE High School.
Thank you, Josh. And I'd like to welcome all those who are still on with us. My name is Bob DeRoos. I'm the director of ACE High School. And also joining me today is Adam Nicely. He's our principal. And we're kind of a charter school, so we have signature academies or career programs, but we are a little bit different, and I'll kind of take you through or walk you through some of those differences. We are a Washoe County School District sponsored charter school. Our emphasis and what we were built upon back in 2002 was career and technical education, CTE. So that's who we are, that's what we like, and that is how we approach everything that we do here. We're a 5-star school. We were in 2019, and in 2020, we're still keeping that same distinction. We blend our academics with our CTE because we know those together build a student who is strong academically. And for us, we want that student to be strong in the thought process of how to work with their hands and their mind, and all in concert with one another. So we're a smaller school. We aren't a big comprehensive high school. We're only about 200 students. We have small class sizes. Prior to the COVID virus, our class sizes were about 20 to 1. And with now we're cut in half, so our classes are really small now. We're about 8 to 10 students per class in our hybrid model. As a charter school, we create our own curriculum in terms of our school calendar. We try and follow the school district's calendar pretty closely, but our hybrid model is still going on. We have the ability, because of our small size, we can make quick decisions and so on. So we have not been, we were lucky and that we didn't have to take days off for the smoke days. We create our school calendar where we have some subtle differences, but we have a unique quarter system. And that's probably the key for the success of our students. All our students will graduate with at least a standard high school diploma, because we're a public high school. So students can earn those required credits in English and math and science that is required by the state, but they also have the opportunity to earn advanced diplomas, career-ready diplomas through their CTE experiences, if they earn the proper requirements and grades in those programs. Because we're a charter school, we do not have the access to busing. So that's one of the hurdles that parents have to be aware of, and students as well. We are fortunate that we have MRTW, which stands for My Ride to Work, the big white buses that you may see in the morning. Our students, we have a grant through Tesla and the Pennington Foundation to supply transportation for our students. So so a lot of our freshmen and sophomore students, I think it's around 70%, ride MRTW in the morning. So our students can come to MRT, or using the program, they can get to ACE High School And then going home, that's unfortunately the challenge that is on the burden of parents. However, we do supply RTC bus passes and so on for students. ACE is unique. As you can see in these pictures, we were one of the first high schools back in 2006 to have students wear a uniform. We really think that's a professional feeling for our students. They take pride in it. The logo, or ACE logo, has been the same. It's one of those that we have kept, and it's important for us to show it, be industry-like, to show that our students can be treated as a professional. We want them to understand that some of the decisions they're making is lifelong decisions and so on. So some of our signature programs that we have, starting off with our first one, it's our 9th grade industry pathways. That first picture on the left, you can see is it's all our freshmen go through this program. It's a great foundational program because students can gain experiences in learning all the foundational elements of our advanced career programs, which would be our building trades, our diesel technology, machining, and architectural design. In that freshman program, students get that first experience and exposure of working with tools. They take engines apart, the small 2-stroke engines, they put them back together. They're going to work on manual lathes. In the past, in that program, we are building currently playhouses that we donate to the Chipino Feed. We find it important to give back to our community. So our 9th grade students really get a hands-on approach. They start to learn what they like and what they dislike, so they can make good choices in their sophomore year to go into the advanced program. So our advanced programs, our career programs, our advanced building trades, where we are building a home. ACE has built 9 single-story or single-family homes. They're all single-story. We're on our 10th home right now. It's across the street from Donner Springs Elementary. It's a 1,850 square foot home. We built it from the ground up. We do every single part of the home construction, from wiring to plumbing, framing, everything, painting, roofing. Our students gain that valuable experience. Just last week, trusses were set for the house, and the students are now going to set trusses and start putting the sheathing on the roof to begin the roofing part of that. That's our advanced building trades. That's open through 10 through 12th graders. And then the last 3 programs that you can see on your screen is diesel technology, machining, and architectural design. These are dual credit programs. These are unique programs to ACE High School because we kind of look at it as double dipping. You get high school credit and you get college credit at the same time. The beauty of that is, as a student, you're going to gain knowledge, you're going to gain experiences, and you're going to gain college credit, all free of charge. We pick up the tab. The taxpayers of the state of Nevada pay for your college credits. If you stay in those programs and you earn the appropriate grades and pass the appropriate tests, you can earn up to 30 or over 30 college credits. You can earn industry certifications and certificate of achievements through TMCC. So that is in our diesel technology program. That's at the Edison campus. They have an amazing shop with multi-million-dollar sets of equipment and engines that students can practice and use on and learn from. Same thing in the machining and manufacturing program, which is the second slide from the right. Those students work on CNC machines, $130,000 machines. They learn those. All our students who are in the advanced program all have opportunities for employment if that's what they want to do, because there's such a shortage of qualified machinists. So our students have ample opportunity to learn, gain work experience, to make great decisions as they continue on in their future. And then our other program is architectural design. It was at one point computer-aided drafting and design. We morphed it into architectural design this year, which is a great transition because it allows students the opportunity to maybe learn how architectural works, and then they're getting the college credits. These are all taught by TMCC instructors. And then if they wanted to, as a senior, if they wanted to take that architectural experience and apply it to the building trades where they learn how things get put together, they have that opportunity there. These are our signature programs that All freshmen will start in the 9th grade program. That's kind of the way it's set up. And 10th, 11th, and 12th graders have the opportunity to take one of the other programs. It's kind of like a major. You're in it for the year. At the end of that year, if you decide you want to stay in it and learn to the next level, you certainly can. And if you're in there for 3 consecutive years, you've met all your CTE requirements. You're going to be eligible for the CTE endorsements and the tests that you have to pass and so on, and possibly the credits and the industry certifications. In addition to that, we also have a middle college, which is after school. It's a unique agreement we have with TMCC, and we have a grant through the Tesla Foundation to pay for credits for students who are juniors and seniors who've shown the maturity, academic success. If they want to continue and learn areas in welding, HVAC, construction technology, additional manufacturing and architecture design technology, they can do that after their school day at ACE, which is done at 1:30. They can continue on and learn at TMCC. They become TMCC students and their credits are paid for. So this is an amazing opportunity for all students, and we enroll students 9 through 12. If you want to look for an innovative and different way of looking at CTE, and that's our focus. It is our focus. We don't have sports teams here. Our teams are our signature programs. We are national award winners in CNC, plumbing, architectural design. We have been national champions across the entire nation. This little small school in Reno, we do that. We've done it. Our last one, I think, was in 2018 in CNC. And we are always in the top and gold medal award winners in the state of Nevada in our signature programs in plumbing, carpentry, and other areas. So those are kind of the quick highlights. I will turn it over to the next slide for Mr. Nicely, and he can kind of tell you about kind of the application process and our website and other things that you probably want to know if you want to think about Ace High School.
Yeah, thank you. It's important to note that though we are sponsored by the school district and we work very well with the school district, the fact we're invited to this is proof of that. We are a separate school and our application is not through the Washoe County School District signature program. So please, if you are interested, I'm going to give you some more information about how to apply for us. It is also important, like Mr. Drew said, that we don't have the typical dances and sports and extracurricular activities in some of the classes that the other schools offer. However, the way the law is written in the state is that any student enrolled in a charter school can participate in any of those extracurriculars through their zoned high school. So we have dozens of students that play sports, to do prom, they take some AP classes, ROTC, band. We work with those students and their families to create a schedule on our end so those students can participate in that. And we know that's important to everyone and it's part of the well-rounded education, and we want you to be able to do that. So if that's important to you and also ACE is on your list of someone you want to apply to, we can work with you on that. Please visit our website at acehighschool.org. There's a lot more information about our programs there. It gives you a good information. Also, we're going to be spending all families in the school district a flyer, and in that flyer is going to be a QR code, and that'll send us, it'll be a video link to a video of our program so you can see our kids in action. It's very cool to see what they're doing. It's very adult level education for high school students. We are currently taking applications for any current high school student interested in January. We do, we're going to keep with our hybrid model until the winter break and then reevaluate, but we are still taking applications for students that are interested in January if you're currently in high school. And if you're currently in 8th grade, we're beginning to take enrollment applications for next school year. We do early acceptance. Our freshman program is very popular and competitive. We have about 65 spots available for that. So I do encourage you to contact us if you are interested. And in speaking of contacting us, you can schedule a tour. We really do want people to come see our campus because it is pretty cool to see what our kids are doing. I don't think it does it justice to see it even in a video. So please call us. We're very small. We do all the health precautions. We can get you in the building at really any time, and we'll show you everything. And like I said, we live and breathe career and technical education, and we think it's important, and we feel like we are a very good school for a lot of students. Again, please call me if you have any questions. You see my information down there. You can call, email. We will walk you through everything. We can give you an application. And again, look out for our flyer here in the next month or so. And I know we have some questions. Josh, do you mind reading those to us?
Yeah, it looks like we have time for just a couple. We had one question about where is your campus located?
We are located on 2800 Vassar Street. We're right near the airport, and we're right off the freeway, which is very convenient for families. It's easy in and easy out.
And then how many college credits can you earn in the machining manufacturing program?
In all of our TMCC programs, students can earn up to about 36. It's a certificate of achievement, which doesn't mean much to you, but it's the first level of attainment. So it's about a year and a half worth of full-time college paid for by us, free to students. All they got to do is work hard and earn that.
And then I think that will conclude our time. We just want to encourage our families again, if they're looking for more information here, to go to acehighschool.org.
Thank you, Josh.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, ACE team. And with that, we are going to highlight a few of our several additional programs and schools available throughout our community, not necessarily administered by the Washoe County School District. If you're looking for further information on schools and programs, you can go to bishopmanogue.org for information about Bishop Manogue Catholic High School. You can go to coralacademy.org to find out information about the Coral Academy of Science. For the Davidson Academy School for the Highly Gifted, you have your link there, as well as the Compass Academy. Washoe County School District's program for the Gifted and Talented Education Program. North Star Online School, which is also administered by Washoe County School District. And then lastly, we have a link there for information about Sage Ridge School as well. Again, another reminder, if you have any questions about our signature programs, especially, or our CTE Career Technical Education programs, or if you want to download a copy of our presentation here, you can go to washoeschools.net/SACTE. And with that, you can also go to washoeschools.net/signature academies for more information about our signature academies. And then we want to encourage you to take a quick 2-question survey here if you can at this link here at the bottom of the presentation. And then otherwise, we thank you very much for your time. We know that it's precious, and we hope that you will explore one of these many options soon. Thank you again, and take care and have a good evening.